B, and C, which we'll do throughout the week. I'm going to start with the speaking test. Spelling test. So write down 1 to 6 on your page if you haven't already done it. And I'm going to give you 6 words. How many times am I going to read the words?
Once.
Once for listening.
Just once, that's it. Only once. Okay. So here we go. Number 1, intuitive. Number 2, coax. Number 3, gunky. Seems to be a common word in OET, that one. And number 4, outset. Number 5, hysterically. And number 6, snotty. That's it. 6 words, nice and easy. Hopefully, hopefully you'll be able to spell them okay. Just check your spelling for 10 seconds. All right, let's go and check. Here we go. Let me know in the chat box how many you got right. It's only 6. Expecting to see some 6s, some 5s, some 4s. Let me know. Okay, yeah, okay. Some lower scores there. Right. Why is that? Okay, well, I'll give you my theories on that. One, it's not a very common word, is it? Intuitive, very uncommon. Coax. I mean, that sounds like this, doesn't it? Coax. It's a very strange one. Gunky. I think it's quite common for OET, but maybe not. And these two here, we've got double letters, haven't we? Double letters often confuse people. Yeah, there's often issues there. So what I was thinking today is I don't have a formal matching of vocabulary definitions, but what I could do is I can go through any words that people are thinking, yeah, I don't really know them. Okay, so put your hand up if you've got any questions about words. We'll spend maybe 15 minutes doing a little bit on definitions, and then I've got a task for you. We've got some other words as well. A task for you to fill some gaps like this. Okay, so put your hand up. Let's look at these. Let's look at all of these words here, and just tell me if there are any words there where you think, I don't know what they mean. I don't know what that means. I'd like Paul to explain for me, and I'd be very happy to. Put your hand up. Kushani. Okay, Kushani, what word would you like me to help you with?
Coaxing.
Yeah, okay, so pronunciation, coaxing. So coaxing is an interesting one. Okay, first of all, it's a verb. To coax is a verb. And the idea is that you are sort of encouraging, tempting, okay, and the persuading. So imagine that, you know what I always think? I always think of, I don't know why, but I always think of a fox, okay? Just imagine in your garden, there's a bush. Okay, and underneath the bush, you can see this poking out. Okay, a little fox. There he is. Okay, now, how could you get that fox to come out from under that bush?
We're gonna offer some food or something.
Offer some food, maybe. Would you go like this? Here's some meat. Here's some meat.
No.
Would you do?
Yeah, we're gonna persuade.
You wouldn't shout, would you? you'd probably be very quiet and you'd probably say, here, come on, come on. You can do, don't be scared. Don't be scared. You're okay. It's all right. And you offer a little bit of meat and the fox comes out gently like that. And then your dog comes out from the house, from the fox runs away. So coaxing is this idea of encouraging, tempting, persuading someone in a kind of gentle way. Okay. Now, not always, but it is often a gentle thing. When you coax, it's quite a delicate, soft experience. What do you think about that, Kushani?
Yes, Paul, I understand. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You know, I remember another one. When I was about 9 years old, I went on this adventure holiday with my school colleagues. And one of the things we had to do was we had to abseil. Okay, here we were. And we had to go down a rope down to the bottom. Okay, and all of my friends and everyone was here. Now, I am very scared of heights. I did not want to do it, but I had to go and do it. And there was someone here, an adult, and he coaxed me into doing it. You know, no, he didn't push me. He didn't push me, no, but he just said, look, you can do it. It's fine. And I was sort of leaning over at one point like that. And he was saying, it's fine. Don't worry. Take a step, just a little step, and then another step. And then it was great. Once I got to about here, I was jumping off and then jumping back on, and it was great. But I was coaxed into it. It was sort of encouraging, sort of persuading. Okay. So that's coaxing. Great word. You don't see it very often in English. You really don't see that word very often. Catalina, have you got another word that you'd like me to explain?
Oh, gunky and snotty.
Gunky, snotty. Okay, so gunky and snotty are very similar in terms of how they look and what their consistency is. So gunk and snot basically look like this, don't they? That's what they look like.
Like a bugger.
Not a bubble, but it's a substance. Okay, it's a substance that is formed on the body or in the body. Now, they are not 100% formed by the body. Okay, they're a bit weird. They're a bit strange. So snotty. Okay, so snot. It's in your nose, isn't it? It's green.
Yeah.
It's a
Especially when you're
combination.
cold.
Well, you've got hairs in your nose, haven't you? And in your nose, dust comes in, sticks to it, and
Yes.
it mixes with mucus. And then it becomes a kind of green color, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Green. Now, children love picking their nose and eating it. Yeah. So they eat their snot. That's what it's called, snot. In America, they call it boogers.
Yeah,
In
buggers.
the UK, sometimes people call it bogies. So snot and bogies. But that's when your nose is normal. Okay, that's when your nose is normal. Normally, you're not snotty. To be snotty means to have a lot of this substance in your nose, and it's not 100% the same. So if you're snotty, you can't pick it. It runs out of your nose. So we often say things like, I've got a runny nose. So if you've got a runny nose, you've got a snotty nose. And that means dirt, dust, mucus, all together in almost a liquid. That's what it means to be snotty. But there is another meaning of snotty. So maybe I'm wrong, but when you were at school, I think that this might sound sexist. I'm not trying to sound sexist, okay? But if you change school when you're 15, okay, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. When a young boy goes, or a teenage boy goes to a new school, he's scared because there might be some fights. But then maybe you'll make some friends, play some football and whatever. But girls are different at that age, and girls can be a bit like, you can't join our group. Yeah. And we would say that that's being snotty. If you're being
Snob.
snotty, it's not snobby exactly, but it's a bit like, I don't like you for some reason, but none of us like you. We're being snotty.
I'm better than
So
you.
it's the opposite of welcoming.
It's the opposite of welcoming, yeah, to be snotty. But it's because they think that they are better for
Yeah.
some reason. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because you're new. Maybe you've got a different accent. And it's not just women that can be snotty. Of course, men can be snotty as well. But as kids, it seems like girls are a bit more like that than boys. I don't know why. Probably more sophisticated, emotional.
Princess syndrome.
What's it? What's syndrome?
Princess syndrome.
I've not heard of that before, but in any case, it doesn't matter. We've gone off a little bit. Snotty means that you've got runny mucus in your nose.
What's the difference between snob and snotty?
Snob and snotty. So to be snobby means that you think that you're from a better class, or
Yeah.
you've got more money.
Yeah.
Snotty can be anybody. I could be this person's got exactly the same amount of money as me, exactly the same class as me, but I'm just being snotty because I don't like them.
Okay, thank you.
So snobby gives a sense that you think you're up here and they're down there. But snotty can also cross over sometimes a little bit.
Okay.
But it's generally being snotty is being unnecessarily
Friendly.
unwelcoming to somebody, unfriendly, yeah. But yeah, so that's not how it's going to be used here. So we've got snotty and gunky. Gunky's a bit different. Now you could describe snot as gunky. Gunky just basically means a disgusting, undesirable substance that's created by the body, unusually. So it could be your eyes if you've got conjunctivitis. It could be I don't know if you ever, when you were younger, if you had a fall on your knee on the concrete, you'd scrape your knee, and then it might take 2 or 3 weeks to go away. Well, sometimes when you get in the bath, it goes soft, and it can easily come off. That's gunky, sticky, gunky, not very nice. Yeah.
I still have a big scar on my right knee since I was a kid.
Well, I think everyone's probably got them one way or another. But yeah, gunky, it's just a not very nice, sticky, unpleasant. I think that blood can be a bit gunky. When it's starting to scab, it's starting to clot. That's a bit gunky as well. All right. Okay, anyone else? Any other words here? I think this is a good word, and I wonder whether people know that word. Extent. Put your hand up if you know extent. Go on, Mohammed. What's extent?
I think scale or size, or the size or the large.
It can definitely be applied to size and scale, definitely. It's not restricted to that, though. It's how much, isn't it? That's what it means. It's how much. So it could be the size of something, but it could also be the spread of something. So it could be, I often bring up COVID. I remember when I first heard about COVID in the UK, and then a week later, everybody had it. So I was amazed to the extent at which it had transferred and progressed through the country. So it's not just physical size. It's also how much in any way, shape or form.
Spread.
It's not just spread. It's not just
amount, degree.
degree is a good one. Yeah, the degree, the extent, but it's not this word. Extend. Extend is a verb. Extend means to make longer or to make bigger. It's extent, which is a bit different.
It's add something more.
Go on, Gaida.
In the word.
It's add something more.
To extend,
Adding.
yeah. So if you extend your house, then what you're doing is you're adding bricks and mortar.
Maybe in new rooms, or I will extend kitchen to add it more.
Exactly, yeah. And that noun would be called an extension. An extension. It's the same as if you're doing essays for your degree or something. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to complete that. I've had a medical emergency. Okay, you can have an extension. In that case, it's time. It's a bit more time that you can have. Okay. Okay. Helen, intuitive. Okay. Intuitive's a good one. So the verb is to intuit. The noun is intuition, and intuitive is the adjective. So let's say which country drives on the right? Which countries drive on the right?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, you drive
Yeah.
on the right. So when you come to the
Turkey,
UK, it doesn't feel intuitive, does it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
most of
So
countries.
does anyone know what the opposite of intuitive is?
Maybe
Rational.
unintuitive.
But when you sit down in a car on the other side of the road and you're thinking, what, I've got to use my left hand for this, and I'm looking, where am I looking now? It doesn't feel natural, does it? So the opposite.
Confused.
No, there's actually a really easy one. It's counterintuitive. That's what people say. Counterintuitive is the opposite of intuitive. So it's counterintuitive if you normally drive on the right-hand side to sit in a UK car and go, what's going on here? Okay, counterintuitive. What else could be intuitive?
Since you have more ability to give some information as intuitive. You are intuitive. It's for giving that information.
Well, it's not really about information. Let's think of this. Okay, so doing things that you've done in the past or done in a certain way, is you find it that it feels like it's an intuitive thing. You've actually learned it, but it feels intuitive because you've been doing it for so long. For instance, let's think of
Natural.
reading. Okay, if you give a book to a Westerner, they're going to open the book, aren't they, from the front and start reading left to right.
Yeah.
That's how it works in English. But that's not how it works everywhere in the world, is it?
No.
You know, Romance languages, left to right. But if you go further east, it starts to get a little bit different. So can anyone tell me any languages where you
Yes, Persian.
Hebrew.
That's
would
our
be reading
language.
from right to left, wouldn't you?
Yes.
From the back side
of
the book.
Exactly, yeah. And I know I've had a look at Japanese books and Chinese books in the past as well, where they're starting at the back. I'm thinking, what's going on? This doesn't seem completely counterintuitive. It's just not the way that I would do it. And sometimes that can really make a big difference into how comfortable you feel in a situation.
Even
Okay.
Arabic as well,
Arabic as well, yeah, exactly.
from right to the left.
Yeah, you have to learn a completely new thing, don't you? Yeah. So Mohammed Hassan died down. Okay, died down. Okay, last night there was a party next door. Okay. 8 p.m. Music booming, loud, 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 loud. I'm lying in bed like this thinking, I'm going to go and have to knock on their door. I'm going to have to go and talk to them. Really, really loud. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. It wasn't until 1 a.m. that it died down. Okay. It died down at 1 a.m.
I think become
became less
strong.
Yeah, became less strong. That's what to die down is now. It's not only volume of music. It could be anything. It could be what do we call a snowstorm, guys? Begins with B. Can anyone think of a snowstorm where there's just snow everywhere? You can't see anything?
Vortex.
No, not
Blistering.
begins with B.
Blistering.
No,
Blizzard.
no, blizzard. Yeah, a blizzard. Okay. That is a snowstorm, a blizzard. It's a great word, isn't it? Must be French. Okay. So the storm, the blizzard, it dies down. And if it dies down, then that means it's less windy, it's less snowy. It could also be pain. The pain died down. Okay, it's a really great phrase in English.
This is the usual formal structure for these types of classes.
Okay, so here I am with Edwin. Hi, Edwin.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, nice to see you. Okay, so Edwin, you are an OET hero, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, super. So where do you live?